Alright, welcome back to Guitar Lesson 6 for beginners, slowly working our way into a couple of songs. I love it. Love these exercises. I've got so many people playing guitars from it. It's incredible. And so I'm using it constantly because it works. It's a method I've come up with, and I knew it would work once I seen students that are 8 and 9 moving forward very quickly with their guitars. One of the worst things is spending years on trying to get master chord changes. I get it. I was young once and I had to try it myself. Next thing that I'd like to show you is, I'm hoping, the most important thing is, if you haven't played before, please go to my channel and watch beginner lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is beginner lesson 6, and we're going to be getting into a song today. So we started off with our D, and I taught you how to get to a C night and work that. If you've done that, that's awesome, because now your fingers should be able to come up and come down very easily. It's not something that you just want to do and think, oh, I'm going to have this done in 10 minutes. You do these exercises as if you were going to the gym every day, and eventually your dexterity and the strength in your hand builds up. Don't forget, I did teach you how to sit. I sit cross-legged so my guitar can come out a little bit on my leg. I can see down my neckline. Also, resting your arm on the guitar. I did talk about fingertips and the pain you can get from starting out. So if your fingertips are very sensitive, get a nice electric. I talked about that around the 220 mark. The other thing is acoustics are great too. You could do all these exercises very hard on your fingertips. Acoustics can be very hard on your fingertips. So get a good one, and maybe even get, I do believe they have nylon coated steel strings you can put on just to start and slowly build your calluses. The other thing you could do is put a capo here, and if a capo is there, this is what a capo is. It just clamps on the guitar. But think of this then as that. So you still have to skip this fret and start here. Don't start your chords over here. I do get students doing that when I show them this trick. But start it up here, skip a fret. It lowers the tension here from the strings, so it's a little easier to press. And then each time you can just bring the capo back and slowly build your hand up. Alright, let's get to the song for those of you that have been working so hard at your chords. Basically, you know you can get to C add 9, so it's just a matter of now taking your fingers up here to G. So I'm gonna come in a bit closer to my hand so you can see exactly what's happening for people with phones. And all right, so we're like this, and that's perfect. You guys should be able to see everything. Now what you should be able to do, so that we can get through a couple songs, is you should be able to take 1 and 2 up to C add 9, and then go up to your G chord, back down to C add 9, back down to your D chord. And don't forget, these two are on the bottom string and string 3. Look at my finger too, it's hanging down a little bit. Why is that? Well, so that if I'm up here, look, I'm touching string 2. That's no good. So let this finger hang down a bit. There's no string below this bottom string, so we're good. We got lots of room we can use. And finger 1, we need to have it up a little bit higher than, you know, if we're down here with finger 1, it's going to catch string 2. Don't forget to have your wrist back to the tuning keys like we talked about in all the other lessons. Again, if you haven't watched them, please go back and watch them. It will increase your speed. You're not going to learn guitar in one day anyways, so you may as well go through a little workout schedule. And that's basically what these exercises are. Okay, so we got that and we got that. Now, I did mention we could have a hard time lifting these 3 off and keeping finger 3 on string 2. That's brain work. Can you do that? If you can do that, that's awesome. But do it slow, right? Because you're just learning. So take your time. Think of your mind as like a computer. You are inputting all this information into your mind, and it's coming down to your hand, and then we're slowly working into our dexterity to be able to play some cool chords. So if you can do that, that's awesome. Now, we want to take this finger. Why do I say that? Because when we're doing these songs, a D chord doesn't have a pinky on it. That would be called a D sus4. This is a D chord. So if we're coming like this, we have to be ready like this. Now we have to try to add all 3 like that. That's another good thing. So try to take fingers 1 and 2 up to strings 4 and 5 and drop your pinky in like that. Try to make them land together. That's the most important and hardest part. And then bring these 2 fingers up 1 more string. And then back down. And then up again. And then up again. And back down. Now notice on my G chord how finger 2 is hanging over the top. Right? I'm not like this. I'm not way down here on the string, because then I'm going to catch the string below it. So I tend to let my finger go up above, and I still keep my knuckle bent. Sometimes when I show students this move, they end up doing this. Make sure your knuckle's still bent, because you got to clear this string over here that's below this finger. This one, that finger 1's on, string 5. So let it sit on the top. And finger 1 can come up a little bit higher and even almost touch string 6. It doesn't affect the sound, so you're really close to string. I try not to touch the string, but I'm so close to it that I clear the 4th string. And don't forget, we always count from the bottom up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? So 4th string, we want to clear that 4th string. There's no finger on it. But if I bring my finger just like that, one little move like that, and bam. So make sure you got your wrist down, your wrist is back to the tuning keys like I taught you. Make sure you've watched those first videos. You start teaching your hand bad habits, then it's very hard to fix it. And that's not me just trying to say that. That's the that's the truth. It's like building muscle memory in your hand. So build your hand right. One thing I want to say, only move fingers. I see people coming in and they're changing chords and they got their hand doing this and their hands. Don't do that stuff. It's about fingers, nothing else, right? Yes, we need our hands because our fingers are on them, but I'm just saying you have to move your fingers as opposed to wrist work and stuff. The only kind of wrist work we do is pivoting. Like if I have to go to a C chord, you can see my wrist comes in like that. If I go to a G chord, I pivot back. But when I show students this, their wrist automatically goes up like that. We don't want that. You have to do all the other lessons and do it exactly the way I taught you to build proper dexterity. Okay, so now we're coming up, up. Now we got to get back down to D for the song Sweet Home Alabama by Leonard Skinner. And that's what we're going to learn. This is going to be another chord exercise. The next video will be learning how to make it sound like Sweet Home Alabama. All right, so if you guys got that, if everybody's got that going on, you can shut the video camera or the video off and practice for a bit. I like to get it, and you should get it so that it's just natural movements, right? You don't have to think about it. You could actually look away from your guitar or close your eyes and still do it. Now that takes time, so don't think that I'm just showing you this, oh, you should have that done in 2 minutes. No, no, no. This takes a few days, right? I mean, if you're only doing maybe 10 minutes a day, it's going to take you a few days. If you try and do all these exercises from guitar lesson 1 up to now, do 20 minutes a day of each one, then you have no problem. And just think you got 3 chord changes, and they're used in a ton of songs. So we'll talk about that as well. Okay, so now what we'll do is, hopefully you've worked on it, and what we'll do is we'll start with our D chord, but with our pinky off. That's why that exercise of bringing these 2 up and dropping the pinky in is important now. I know when we first started, I said anchor those 2 and teach those 2 to move around. They should feel pretty good now if you've worked it hard. And make sure you're pushing in with your thumb and your fingers. Sometimes I see students just pushing in with their fingers. Your hand is acting as a clamp. So your thumb's pushing this way while your fingers are pushing that way. And your arm is stabilizing the guitar on the back side. You can see my arm comes down like an angle. And then you can see that my hand, use your wrist to strum. Don't do things like this. Nice relaxed hand, and softly. If you're not getting the sound of your strings, it's because your fingers aren't on them right. It's got nothing to do with your pick. Your pick is just making the strings vibrate to get the sound, right? That's how we get sound, from vibration. That's a whole other topic. What we could do with sound is incredible. But So now that we got that all sorted out and working well, what we'll do is we'll start working on strumming these. We'll start here on our D chord, and why it helps you is because I'll keep you in time. And a good thing to do is to count really slow to start. So it'd be something like 1. You should tap your foot too. 2. Bring your foot up, come down, say 3. Foot's up, come down. When it hits the floor, say 4. So it'd be, I start with my foot up and I start my count. 1. Foot comes up, back down for 2. Back up, back down for 3. Now we set our speed 4, and now we'll be like 1, 2. Okay, there's one other thing I wanted to mention. I think we can go back into full screen here if you've done all the changes. So what we want to do is, when we're on the D chord, we want to strum from the 4th string down, because that's our D string. If you don't know the names of your strings, a great saying is, for kids, going this way is every bunny goes dancing after Easter. And from the top down, you could think of it as Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. So there's 2 sayings, one for coming up this way and one for going down that way, to remember the names of your strings. So this is a D string and this is a D chord. And what we want to do is we want to strum from the 4th string down 4 times. And now we got to be thinking ahead, right? So we're thinking about our C add 9 the whole time. Now I'm thinking about G. And look at the C add 9. Look, my finger is literally touching string 6 and finger 1 is almost touching string 5. So that we clear these strings below our fingers. I hope that helps. Please leave me comments and hit the subscribe button and click on the bell so you get notified when I post more videos. I don't get many comments, and I see there's quite a few people learning. So let me know your thoughts and what you're going through. I know guitar's tough, so don't think it's you and you can't do it. It's work. It's, you know, you're investing in your talent. It's okay. I've spent like 6 hours practicing a fingerstyle picking song yesterday. What the World Needs Now. Great song. We're doing the Sarah Bareilles version. My wife will be singing it, I'm hoping. We're trying to get that together. But and fingerstyle picking while she's singing. But yeah, it teaches you that everything that you do is because you love doing it and you want a new song and you're tired of the old ones, and so you work hard again at something new and you keep advancing your talents. So on the C add 9, we want to strum from the 5th string down, and on the G, we want to strum from the 6th string down. All right. So now we're going to start on our D chord. Again, we'll count in 1, 2, 3, 4, and we get 1, 2, 3, 4. Now my pick's gonna come up to string 5, 1, while my fingers go up to 5 and 4, 2. And the whole time I'm counting down 4s, I'm thinking of my G chord. 4 and 1. Make sure finger 2's hanging over the top and finger 1's almost touching string 6. 3. Big jump back down to D. 4 and 1. Pinky's got to come off and stay ready. 2, 3, 4 and 1. 5th string down now. Don't forget about your pick. 2. A nice relaxed picking hand. 3. Thinking about G. 4 and 1. 2, 3. Notice my wrist is still back. 4 and back to the D. 1. Maybe we got to go a little slower for some. We'll go slower. 1, 2. The beautiful thing is when you go slow, you want to make your strings stay ringing. 4 and 1. 2, 3, 4 and 1. Now I'm thinking about my D chord. 2, 3, 4, and 1. 2, 3, 4, and 1. Try not to look at your hand and do it. 2. That's even harder. 3. Pick's got to come down from string 5. 4, and 1. 2. Nice relaxed pick hand. 3. Thinking about D. 4. The D chord. And 1. Pinky's got to come off. 2. 3. If your hand's getting tighter, take a break. 4, and 1. Look at that. Finger 2's touching string 6 again. 3. And now I'm going to let it hang over the top. 4. And I'm going to strum from the 6th string down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. All right. Now, if you're finding that hard and this is the lesson you came to, go to my channel and trust me, watch 1, 2, 3, 4, do the work, go through it. You'll be playing chords in about a week, and you'll be playing a song in a week. Why wait? Don't waste your time. Learn properly, and guitar is fun. Go through pains of learning wrong and doing things like this, and guitar goes, I can't stand this thing. We don't want to do that. We want to have fun with our instruments. All right, I hope that helps you guys. That would be lesson 6, and the next lesson will be on learning how to get through Sweet Home by using these chords that you've worked so hard on and deserve to learn a song now. Hopefully you haven't put calluses on your fingertips. Hopefully you haven't put blisters on your fingertips by playing too much. You want to do a slow build up for calluses. So that's why I say 20 minutes. 20 minutes a day. You can take a break after your 20 or 30 minutes for a couple hours. Then go back. But don't forget, every time you practice properly and you stop playing, your mind is still going through all those motions. So you pick up your guitar the next day and it's a little easier. Again, that comes down to dexterity into our hand and our fingers. So again, don't forget, just try to move fingers. I know on the D chord it's tough to come way down like that, but you can see my fingers do it. Think of it as you're just pushing and pulling your fingers, right? It's all about your fingers. Peace and Merry Christmas to everybody. We'll see you again very shortly with the song video. Bye for now.